Hurricane Jerry, what you need to know. Recession expected in 2020 for the U.S. And Ms. Shayna Smith of the BVI Hotel and Commerce Association joins us in studio, as well as CCT making a huge donations of some fans across the territory.
Up to $50,000 in grants for rental property repairs in the U.S. Virgin Islands, and your weekly arrest blotter. These and more stories when 24 News returns.
Is business slow? Cash flow down? Hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media at cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.
When you need to stay connected with friends and families at home or abroad, the best choice for you is Freedom. CCT Freedom. With the lowest rates in the market, our Freedom plan gives you unlimited calls and texting. Plus, our Freedom One package includes 10 gigabits of super fast unlimited LTE data and unlimited calls to the BVI, USA, USVI, Canada, Puerto Rico, and UK lines. Why pay for overages when you can enjoy CCT Freedom? Stop by at one of our stores today and speak with one of our representatives to find out more about our CCT Freedom packages.
You never put up a fight, no. Paradise Plum. Yeah, this is Naomi Cowan representing for 284 Media. Keep it locked and don't go anywhere. Stay sweet.
Can we sign you up before I leave?
Welcome, everyone. I am Javon Wilson, and this is 284 News. Topping our newscast today, CCT continues to extend its philanthropic efforts to the community, and this time around, schools were able to benefit from some well-needed funds. On Wednesday, September 18th, CCT's marketing team presented both Yas Van Dyke Primary School and the Claudia Criqui Educational Center in Anegada with a dozen fans. Yas Van Dyke Primary School Principal Ms. Laverne Blyden expressed appreciation. She said, "We are truly grateful for the much-needed donation, and we would like to extend a heartfelt thank you to the management and staff of CCT for this generous donation, assisting students as well as our staff to learn and work in a much more comfortable environment." Principal of the Claudia Criqui Educational Center, Mr. Theodore John, also expressed gratitude to CCT for their act of generosity, stating that this will assist in keeping classrooms cool for a better learning environment. The Public Relations and Marketing Coordinator, Geraldine T. Hopkins, said during the handover that the CCT Cares initiative will remain active and involved in the community. We saw that this donation was deemed fit at this time, and we will continue to give back to the community whenever we can. This donation was aimed to assisting in improving the learning environment for students at both institutions. CCT Cares initiative was officially launched in January of 2018 and will continue with giving back to the community through volunteering services and contributing in ways that seems fit for the betterment of the community. CCT BVI was voted, best cellular service provider in the BVI and is the BVI's premier 4G LTE network. To learn more, visit our CCT BVI page, or you can visit www.cctbvi.com or as well as our Facebook page. Viewers, in studio, we have representing the BVI CCHA, our local powerhouse herself, Ms. Shayna Smith. Ron,
Yes,
all
indeed.
yours.
Thank you so much, Jovan. Shayna, welcome to 284 Media.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome back, as a matter of fact.
Yes, that's true.
So in 2017, the BVI Hotel and Commerce Association celebrated 50 years, and of course, because of the storms of 2017, that was a little bit overshadowed. Tell me a little bit about 50 years dating back, as well as some of the new updates.
Okay, well, thanks for having us. At the Chamber of Commerce and Hotel Association, we've been around quite some time now. And again, like you mentioned, we were supposed to celebrate the 50th anniversary in terms of reflecting on all the hard work that the Chamber has done over the years and where we're going now. So, of course, we never gave up. We've been also in rebuild mode, similar to the rest of the country in terms of implementing new technologies. We have a new website. We're reinitiating some old programs as well as introducing new things. So we have a lot about to kick off basically in the last quarter of this year. So that's basically what we popped in to tell you guys about.
So for the persons in the community, the millennials, some of the younger generation like myself who might not be fully aware of the role of the BVI Hotel and Commerce Association, can you explain what exactly the role is in our community?
Okay, so the Chamber of Commerce and Hotel Association, basically we're that voice of business. We're the ones that are advocating for a business-friendly environment. So whether it's about physical infrastructure, about government policies that affect us as business, service delivery with the government departments, you know, we've been given input a lot of times behind the scenes. You know, we're contacted to give our feedback through a membership about different legislation. For example, the consumer protection legislation
Great
that was
example.
recently passed, that we had an opportunity to see that, discuss it with membership in terms of, you know, what are our thoughts, in addition to the public consultation that was done. So that's part and parcel in terms of the role, and we want to see ourselves now going forward, especially as a driving force for the business development and the economic growth for the country, as we recover and further develop the Virgin Islands, because when we talk about $1 billion economy,
Yes.
that's the private sector.
Yeah.
You know, the majority of that is the private sector, and as a result, you know, we're providing the goods, the services, the employment, and the tax revenue. So we have a very big part to play as the business sector in the development of the country, and we want to mobilize the collective voice in terms of, you know, whether it's the startup entrepreneurs, it's the longtime veterans that have been in business, to come together, network, learn from each other, empower each other, and continue to build from strength from there for another 50 years.
Well, that brings me to my next question. When you look at businesses across the kaleidoscope when it comes to the BVI, there are small businesses, there are persons, as you said, veterans. What do you think business owners can take away most from the BVI Hotel and Commerce Association?
I think in terms of when that ability in terms of connecting, because a lot of times we tend to think in business or challenges our own experiences, when in fact, you know, again, you might learn from someone that's been in
Indeed.
business much longer than you to tell you, oh, that's easy. This is how you would handle such a situation. And that helps us to, again, continue to equip each other to become even better. And we're coming from an investment standpoint. I mean, domestic investment for us is also a big thing, where it's not just about foreign investment coming in, but that we're able to develop ourselves to the point that we're able to invest in our own development as a territory going forward. And that comes through partnerships. So that is key in terms of why persons should join the chamber, as far as being a part of the collective voice and the network, plugging into the network where they can get, you know, information, advice.
Correct.
You know, from those that have been there a little longer than us, and to continue to mentor each other.
That's
because
important.
one of my personal passions with this is about junior achievers, and that's a program where we're mentoring high school students about business and basically grooming the next generation of business leaders, because that's how I view it. This is about business leadership.
Okay. Now, for persons who want to get in contact with your organization, how can they?
Well, they can go on our brand new website,
Okay.
www.bviccha.org. You can also email us at info@bviccha.org, or they can call us 494-3514.
Amazing.
Amazing. And I want to also invite everyone out to our next quarterly meeting. It's going to be on the 3rd of October at 5:30 p.m. Forge is the ones that are sponsoring it for us. So we'll be at the Forge offices on the Cyril B. Romney Tortola Pear Park, building 1 upstairs next to, I think it's Coconut Lounge?
Yes.
To the Coconut Lounge. So we actually also have the event on our website, so you can go and register to attend, so we can make sure we have a table for everybody.
Viewers, you heard it here first from the president of the BVI Hotel and Commerce Association, Ms. Shana Smith. Lots going on, not only celebrating a little over 50 years, but really emancipating and helping local business owners to channel and move forward. Lots more when you come back. You're watching 284 News.
Why are you really running for, boss? You could have bust a hole in your head. But see, with the competition, it's mean about to bust a hole in your pocket.
I could get my modem, please.
Anyhow, I got something huge to show you.
I gotta be sick in your head.
The whole on string bean, take a kind of party. Check this. That's LTE1 for just about everyone. LTE2 for you and your boo. And hold on. Bam! Rate so low, you feel like you're free. That's LTE3 for you and the whole family.
Save even more on your internet with new pricing from CCT. Get LTE 2 now for only $149. Get LTE 3 for the new low price of $189. All packages are unlimited, so there's no overage charge. You don't have to run into Chaz for savings. Just stop by our store and sign up today. Come on over to CCT. Life Unlimited.
Hello?
Wait, you had a long time. Yeah? You don't say you were sick? What happened to over the rehearsal?
No, babe. I'm actually watching the news right now. Take a listen.
Topping our newscast today, UFOs seen around Tortola Pier Park.
And District 3 residents outraged over no water supply. They simply cannot bathe. These and more stories when 284 News returns.
All right, babe, just get some rest, take 2 Advil, and I'll see you later. Bye.
Okay, honey. I see you later. I love you.
It's clear to see that Coconut Lounge is a place to be, the coolest cocktail lounge in the British Virgin Islands. A lounge like no other, with welcoming, professional service, and a breathtaking ambiance. Not forgetting a diverse selection of wines, beers, and signature cocktails. Cozy, comfortable, contemporary. Coconut Lounge at Tortola Pier Park. Visit us today.
Yes, BVI, this is your singer, Taurus Riley, T4000. Sing it, Kravitz. And you're watching 284 Media. Enough respect.
Viewers, welcome back. President Donald Trump's major tax cuts will be an advantage to the U.S. economy throughout 2018 and 2019. But the president's other policies could lead to a new recession in 2020, according to the Associated Press. The latest quarterly outlook by the National Association of Business Economics states that its panel of 45 economists believe that the nation's gross domestic product will grow by 2.8% this year, a decrease from the panel's prediction in March of last year of 2.9 gross domestic product growth. Now, the panelists forecasted that the nation's GDP would grow by 2.7 in 2019. However, the panel also stated that the growth could be a shortcut by the upcoming recession, with 2/3 of the economists predicting that a recession will start by the end of 2020 or as early as 2019. One of the biggest causes for the decline, according to the economists, are Trump's current trade policies. 3/4 of the panelists predict that Trump's imposed tariffs on steel and aluminum imports from the Canada, Mexico, and European Union is a major effect on that aspect. Jovan, what do you think when it comes to just the thought of another recession hitting the U.S.? Because, of course, that trickles down to the
British Virgin Islands. Just like you said, a lot of people think that the affairs of the U.S. does not affect us,
but it really
not
does.
realizing how interconnected we are. We have to remember that we are super dependent, invested in the United States. When you think about such a high percentage of our imports coming in from the United States, as well as our tourists. So a recession hitting the U.S. concerns a lot of persons, including us right here in the British Virgin Islands. So it's super important that we stay keen on, and especially considering the most recent recession and the impacts it had.
Quite drastic.
We really have to be careful and just pay attention to what's happening on the international scene.
Definitely.
Moving right along, viewers, by now you know Hurricane Jerry has been stirring up some trouble.
Quite some drama,
Up and down, but we have to bring you the full updates at 11 a.m. Jerry was located just about 80.8 degrees north, longitude 60.3 west, and approximately 217 miles away from the British Virgin Islands. The hurricane is still moving at 17 miles per hour. Now, at this current speed, the hurricane is expected to pass north of the BVI around Saturday, and that will be, of course, tonight, the wee hours of tonight into tomorrow morning. Aircraft Renaissance has indicated maximum sustained winds have decreased to 85 miles per hour, which is pretty good because we know earlier today that it was a Category 2 hurricane, I think at 105 miles per hour. So that is good. It was decreased, making Jerry a Category 1 hurricane again. Hurricane force winds extend 50 miles from center, with tropical storm force winds extending out about 80 miles from the center. Now, although the hurricane is expected to pass north of the BVI, forecasters maintain the potential for heavy rainfall across the territory, with isolated amounts of between 4 to 6 inches, possibly in Anegada, and 1 to 3 inches in other parts of the territory. Forecasters have also maintained the potential for seas becoming extremely hazardous, especially from this afternoon. The high surf warning, as we know by now, has been issued since earlier this morning. It's still in effect, and there is also the potential that gusty winds from rain bands could be experienced as Hurricane Jerry passes north of the territory. Now, here's what you need to know. Again, rough seas and a high surf advisory continues to be in effect, and again, we expect 6 inches of rain on Anegada, and we know it's pretty flat over there in Anegada.
Similar to the Bahamas.
Right, I know the minister, Honorable Whitley, he's also the district representative. He was making his way over based on, that's the last thing I heard, he was making his way over to see if it would be possible to suggest evacuation. I know that's of concern to some persons because we had a similar situation, right, in Arma, trying to decide, do you stay or do you go, of course, in concern for your safety and your family's safety. But I think being that it's going to be passing up north, the island we need to be most concerned about is Anegada. Again, 1 to 3 inches of rain in other parts of the BVI. Now, Ron, due to the positioning of Anegada again, do you think that persons should pay heed to, I mean, the storm is not subjected to touchdown or make landfall in the British Virgin Islands, but we still have to be duly concerned.
Well, I'll tell you this, if the hurricanes of 2019 were any example, remember, Jovan, you weren't on island at the time, but 2017, the Irma was originally supposed to impact
as
Anegada.
A category
Correct.
1?
They were supposed to, Anegada was of most threat to in reference to that storm, and it shifted, and Rotown Tortola, the capital, became the subject and the main focus for the storm. So I think it's an importance at the end of the day. One, we need to use our best discretion, and of course it's always difficult. We've seen in regions and across the country where persons have a difficult time evacuating, but at the end of the day it is the safest measure. So I think the people of Anegada should exercise such caution. And what I like about it is the constant communication between the district representative, the Honorable Vincent Wheatley, who is making his way over there to just have a conversation with the people and to ensure their safety. And at the end of the day, make them feel as comfortable as they can to know that somebody is in their corner, just lobbying and making sure that, you know, they're safe.
And another great positive too as well is we reached out to a few of the other representatives who said that their district as well is fairly covered as it relates to security, and of course the shelters are open across the territory.
Wonderful.
As a result of the predicted weather conditions, as you know, local ferry schedules have already been adjusted, and up to press time, our main ports still remain open. Water and sewage discontinued water flow just about 9 o'clock this morning, so we trust that you guys were able to, of course, back up your water. Select emergency shelters remains open territory-wide, with the exception of 2 out of the 23 that was initially listed just around the time of Dorian. The Gertrude and Christiana Community Center in Port Purcell, Tortola, and the St. Ursula Catholic Community Center on Virgin Gorda will not be open. But again, it is imperative that you pay attention to the other centers open for accommodation. And of course, this is in accordance to their categories and levels of assistance. Now, I know a lot of people are still anxious. I mean, they have every reason to be.
It's a season.
And of course, that was incited by what we would have experienced in 2017. But again, preparedness is key. Remember that we're not just preparing for Jerry, because based on what we've been seeing,
it's a pretty active season.
Yes, even though these storms are very unpredictable, we see quite a number of disturbances developing. So we really have to keep our eyes on those storms and just continue to be safe. If you are located next to maybe an elderly person, maybe a disabled person, just try your best to look out for that person. But based on the predictions, I think we should be just fine.
We should be just fine, and we're hoping for the best as ourselves and our residents and friends across the region. Still ahead, the government provides grants for landlords to repair hurricane-ravaged homes and your weekly arrest blotter. I can't wait to get to that story about
Yes,
the
I'm excited
government
about that
giving
one.
landlords money, but we'll be right back.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There's the answer code.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
Brilliant Hands and Minds tutoring services, one-on-one tutorials in math and English, intense homework assistance, academic enrichment, school projects, effective communication and public speaking development, sign language for adults and children on Saturdays only. Registered with the Virgin Islands High School Certificate Program, Brilliant Hands and Minds can help you too. Offering intense curriculum-based training to help you or your loved ones get their high school diploma. It's time to make your family's education a #1 priority. Hurry, space is limited. Brilliant Hands and Minds Learning Center. We are the trained education professionals.
Hi, I'm Henderson Tittle, founder and president of MAIL, and you're watching 284 Media. The journey continues.
Welcome back, viewers. You're watching 284 News. Now, landlords in the U.S. Virgin Islands will now be able to access up to $50,000 in grants via the Envision Tomorrow CDBG-DR Housing Recovery Program designed to assist homeowners affected in the 2017 hurricanes, of course, Irma and Maria. Governor Albert Bryan was proud to launch the program a few days ago, which provides up to $250,000 for repairs on homes damaged by, again, Hurricanes Irma and Maria, although there are caveats to getting the money. And as announced months ago, a rental unit rehab initiative, also part of the Envision Tomorrow, provides up to $50,000 per apartment to 500 landlords to repair their rental units. Mr. Bryan has set aside about $60 million from the $243 million HUD grant secured during the MAP administration for the new home repair program and $25 million for the rental rehab effort. Mr. Griffith has asked the governor to increase the amount to $200 million over time for the home repair program. It is reported that so far approximately 99 applicants representing 150 units has applied and as of Wednesday for the rental rehab program. But as everything else, there is a criterion.
Yes.
Firstly, you must be the homeowner to qualify. 70% of the millions allotted will be designated to low to middle income individuals and 30% to the other applicants. This, of course, will ensure that the residents who truly needs the help receives it. Additionally, if you receive funds from an insurance company for repairs, HUD will only provide funding for repairs the insurance company was not able to cover.
Correct.
So landlords who plan to participate in the rental rehab program, of course, will have to agree to rent those very units to low to moderate income households with a preference for Section 8 voucher holders. And the $50,000 being provided to landlords is at a 15-year-old forgivable debt. Now, overall, the Envision Tomorrow program represents a major step in the quest to full recovery following the damage of the U.S. Virgin Islands, the damages that they would have sustained, estimated to be more than $8 billion when the hurricanes made landfall a couple of years ago, 2 years ago in 2017. The governor said, I would like the public to know that today my heart feels a little good because I know the 1,400 people that go without roofs in the Virgin Islands, they're going to benefit from these programs and they're going to get a little closer to getting their homes back and getting their lives back. So great initiative by the government. What do you think?
Definitely. So, Jovan, tell me what you think. And I really appreciate the fact that the governor of the U.S. Virgin Islands is reaching out in this medium because, as we've seen here in the BVI, to this day, there are still many
complex.
persons and homes without roofs and persons still trying to navigate their way and figure it out. I get that and I appreciate that. And I do think that in many instances there should be some assistance. But I'm at a point where I'm thinking, is everything the government's responsibility?
Maybe not, but I do realize that, especially after disasters like these, you look at persons who you think are well off or wealthy, and you look at the common man. But I believe in times of disaster, everybody becomes one, because everybody, experiences go through these catastrophic losses. A lot of landlords, and this is the truth, they just simply cannot afford to get back on their feet, and it's putting their tenants at a disadvantage.
I can understand.
I know many persons like that. So to a great extent, I am happy to see this. There is a story circulating on social media, and the BVI, the Real BVI Community Group. I think it was published by one of our media houses in the BVI as well, regarding a Caucasian woman that lives in Jos Van Dyke, I believe, in a tent, and she is upset, quite frankly, that the government of the Virgin Islands is not providing assistance to her personally to get her into maybe a home or something like that. Of course, the apartment that she was renting, it was damaged by Hurricanes Irma and Maria, and I'm sure I think the homeowner is away in the United States and unable to repair the home. So as a result of that, she has to live in a tent.
Okay, so and that brings me back to my.
She is bashing the government.
Right, but that brings me back to my previous question. Is everything the government's responsibility? Because in a case like that, you would think that you would take the initiative to find another alternative. Perhaps the place that you're renting, just in this case, is no longer worthy. However, find someplace else. We get to a point where everything is
we become dependent. I do understand that, but I do know for sure, to general consensus under that post that most of you know went viral, persons were saying if anyone is to receive the help, that would be the homeowner, of course. So I'm really happy to see this happening for the U.S.
making strides definitely over there in the U.S. Virgin Islands. And locally, weekly arrest blotter. Mr. Wilbert Pickering, 40 of Paramtown, arrested and charged for burglary. He appeared before the magistrate's court and was remanded to Her Majesty's prison. Octavio Turnbull Jr., 31 of Seacoast Bay, arrested and charged for theft. He was granted bail in the amount of $50,000. Dexter Donovan, 33 of Great Harbor, Jos Van Dyke, arrested and charged for theft. He was granted bail in the amount of $5,000. Anya Graham, 27 of Fat Hogs Bay, arrested and charged for theft. She was granted bail in the amount of $10,000. Ryan Robin, 29 of the Valley Virgin Gorda, arrested and charged for assault occasioning actual bodily harm. He was granted bail in the amount of $5,000. Malik Maduru, 23, a 23-year-old inmate at Her Majesty's prison, got into an altercation, that's assault occasioning actual bodily harm and possession of a controlled drug. Harold Graham, 40 of Long Swamp, arrested and charged for obstructing police in lawful execution of duty, reckless driving, and disorderly conduct. He was granted bail in the amount of $5,000. Bunny Shinnery, 18 of Great Harbor, Jos Van Dyke, arrested and charged for handling stolen goods. He was granted bail in the amount of $5,000. We have Avery Malone of Mount Healthy, arrested and charged for driving an unlicensed and uninsured vehicle, driving without a rear identification plate, and transporting unsecured material. He was granted bail in the amount of $10,000. Jovan, there's something I want to bring about when it comes to some of the arrest blotters. We've seen an influx in many of them over the past few months, where every week we have at least 10 of various
and
events.
very similar demeanors.
Correct, very similar situations. But I think a lot of it, perhaps when I read these arrest blotters, might be a lack of education in some sense. Persons perhaps are not aware, and I'm not talking about the cases with assault and occasional actual bodily harm, theft, as well as controlled drugs. But the last story, Avery Malone of Mount Healthy, arrested and charged for driving an unlicensed and uninsured vehicle. In addition, driving without a rear identification plate. And the last one, transporting unsecured material. That's where I'm going at. Persons not being aware that just driving a big truck throughout with a set of material and stuff like that on it, you need to secure it. So perhaps the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force, and I hope you guys watch our newscast, that you could sensitize the public a little bit more in educating them on the do's and don'ts when it comes to not only driving, but simply transporting material, all that kind of stuff. I think it would be important.
I
so
think
we could perhaps
DMV can step in that process
Absolutely,
too.
you're definitely right.
Because, you know, this is where you acquire your license from
Yes.
to operate those type of vehicles on the roadways. So I think collectively we need to have that conversation. We do want to see that arrest blotter decrease.
Yeah,
Come
decrease,
on. I
yeah.
mean, it's growing based on what
it's a
we
little
see.
bit much, guys.
But viewers, that's it for today's news roundup. We just want to encourage you to be safe during this weekend. Of course, we're expecting some effects from Hurricane Jerry, just a little bit. I mean, if you have some, I guess, if you're married like you are, it wouldn't be such a problem. But seriously, we want you guys to be safe. Make sure if you can, look out for the elders and those persons who may need assistance in the community. And please pay attention to the shelters that are available should your home or where you abide become compromised. I'm Javon Wilson. Be sure to follow us on Facebook at 284 Media, as well as 284 BVI at Instagram and Twitter.
Definitely, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Ron Grant. Be sure to join us live every Tuesday and Friday at 3 p.m. as we deliver nothing but honest and impartial news right here on 284 News. Happy Friday, guys. Have a great weekend and stay safe.
May I assist you? Yes. You want top of power?
You want top of power?
Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top Up Turn Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top of power? Hello?
Wait, you're the launch and care? You say you were sick? What happened to over the rehearsal?
No, babe. I'm actually watching the news right now. Take a listen.
Topping our newscast today, UFOs seen around Tortola Pier Park.
And District 3 residents outraged over no water supply. They simply cannot bathe. These and more stories when 284 News returns.
All right, babe, just get some rest, take 2 Advil, and I'll see you later. Bye.
Okay, honey. I see you later. I love you.
It's clear to see that Coconut Lounge is a place to be, the coolest cocktail lounge in the British Virgin Islands. A lounge like no other, with welcoming, professional service, and a breathtaking ambiance. Not forgetting a diverse selection of wines, beers, and signature cocktails. Cozy, comfortable, contemporary. Coconut Lounge at Tortola Pier Park. Visit us today.
Hi, I'm Chandria Nicole Turnbull, 2019 Mrs. British Virgin Islands, and you are tuned into 284 Media. Thanks for watching.